Okay, welcome back to One Piece Anime Review Part 29C. Yes, we're finally finishing up Marineford, covering episodes 475 to 489. Yep, a lot more crazier stuff happens in these episodes. Okay, well, what happens in these episodes? Well, Whitebeard gets involved with the fighting, even though he kind of started doing that at the end of episode 272. But here, yeah, he's basically full on fighting. He's using his Deathproof powers a lot, basically wrecking Marineford like crazy. Except for the main Citadel, he didn't touch that. But he's wrecking everything else. Eventually, meanwhile, Luffy has basically gotten past the admirals, and he is stopped by, well, I think is it Kizaru? No, actually that happened last time. So he basically is able to get up, and also Ivankov's associate, who apparently was hiding his hair, hiding his hair. So he proceeds to cut up the ground, to let him go way up to where Ace is. He's able to get up there. Not well. He did have one small problem where he ran into his grandpa. And a couple of Marines wanted to shoot at Luffy, but look up Hancock stops them and it's like, what, you want to shoot Garp? Yep. You fools, you'll actually hit Garp. And you're like, oh, he'll make a potential future grandfather-in-law for me. And like, really? Yep, hopefully. Yeah, that's the thing with Hancock. Luffy's able to get past his grandpa thanks to going second gear, knocking him out. And of course he takes out the keys. Like Kizaru's like, oh, I got the key. You're not supposed to have that. Bing, breaks the key. And just by sheer coincidence, Mr. 3, who had been running around, he avoided being frozen over by Aokiji. So he disguised himself as one of the executioners. And look up, since he's there, he makes a duplicate of the very key that was used to open up Ace. Of course, also Marco got one of the handcuffs on him, so then you get him off. So Ace gets freed, and he's freed for about 2 episodes. Yep, he basically goes all out against the Marines for basically imprisoning him. And then Akainu shows up. And, of course, well, Whitebeard is still being shot and stabbed multiple times. He's also been punched in the gut by Akainu. He gets punched by him twice. So Akainu, who had basically decided to insult Whitebeard, Ace tries to attack him. Then, of course, both like one side of Go Raji and, of course, then the dragon. And instead of going for Ace, he goes straight for Luffy. Look up, but Ace jumps right in front of Luffy, and Akainu punches him right through his back, right through his gut. Yep, and then Ace slowly dies in Luffy's arms, and basically tells him like, "Sorry for worrying," and he's happy he finally came, and then he dies. Yes, Ace dies, and Luffy goes into shock, and he's like this for the remainder of the episodes. Whitebeard gets upset about this, rightfully so, and proceeds to charge right over at Akainu and beat the living crap out of him for killing Ace. Rightfully so, and then he proceeds to also use his power to basically hurt him. Almost look like he's like breaking his ribs with his giant fist, creating like more destruction, causing him to fall. But look how easy to get out of the problem. And so they need to get out of there because, well, they failed. Yes, Ace was freed, but he still died. And then eventually Whitebeard creates basically a big ditch so that his crew can get away, despite the fact that the Marines are still going to go after him. And then something jaw-dropping happens. The Blackbeard Pirates show up. Yep, and they've got new crew members. So the Rain already know he joined the crew, along with the Moon Hunter. Yes, a woman with a long nose. The Heavy Drinker, a big, humongous guy known as the Battleship, and the guy is the size of a battleship. I think his name is Andrew Wolf, and he speaks with a southern accent for some reason. Yeah, that's for some reason his English dub actor decided to give this guy a southern accent. He's one of two giant-sized creatures in the series like this. The other, of course, is no one shows on Fishman Island. Let's see. Oh yeah, they also have the corrupt king, who speaks in cat. Has a cat accent. Meow, meow. Like, really? Okay. Yeah, and Blackbeard says, oh yeah, I use you all so I can basically increase my crew in power. And Whitebeard basically says you're no longer, you're one person refused to call my son because of what he did to Teach. Well, his the 4th Division commander. And he does, of course, they have fighting, and then, of course, Blackbeard is a dirty cheat. Like, first he uses death powers on him, works for a bit, and then eventually you have Whitebeard able to overcome it, and able to choke him, and he's like, screw, use my death powers, I'm going to shoot him, bang, 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 and of course the whole crew opens fire on him, and so he's like, man, this guy's like near dead, he probably should be dead, like, nope, and then just before he dies, he says, the One Piece exists. And lucky enough for the transpires, Bucky's able to get back up and running. The one that he caught, though, got frosted over. They able to basically defrost thanks to throwing in the salt water. Though the snail's fine. But apparently, Bucky's kind words able to come out of its shell, and they broadcast death of Whitebeard, sort of like on worldwide television. Despite the fact Navy cut it, and people were actually upset with Navy over it, they're probably going to find protests with Navy after this whole battle's over with. So, Whitebeard's dead. And instead of like saying, oh yeah, battle's over, the Marines are bloodthirsty. Heck, even Smoker and Tashigi basically sees this, that they have more senseless violence against the Whitebeard pirates. Also, at one point, the Pacifists before that, the Pacifists want to try to fire Luffy, though Hancock's able to stop them, and Sedeku, the big guy who's Kizaru's nephew, so what he do is like loves like a hurricane. He's like, what? What are you talking about? I had to bring that up because that's kind of hilarious. And despite the fact, and of course, Kobe is suffering through what looks like hockey. Yep, Kobe at this point doesn't know he has hockey until like the start of the next arc. So he's basically running, trying to get the fighting to stop. And lucky enough that, well, Jinbei was carrying Luffy, though Luffy, Akainu basically helped even after Ivankov tried to stop him, but didn't do much of anything to it. And he's able to catch it, he's able to wound Jinbei's like shoulder and arm. And Luffy punched him right in the chest, and that mark on his chest will still stay. Though it will look a little different because just by sheer coincidence, while they're up in the air, they're caught by Buggy, and then Buggy sees that Trafalgar Law showed up. You're like, how the heck get there so quickly? His submarine, of course. They're like, toss him here. It's like, okay. It's like, toss him here. They get him inside. And then eventually we have Kobe's able to get to Akainu. Said we should stop the fighting, and Akainu probably sees it as a sign of weakness. Is about to kill Kobe for his what he thinks is defiance. Despite that Kobe's trying to get the fighting to stop, he has his big magma fist. He's about to hit him, and then he's stopped by a sword. Shanks has shown up. Yep, Shanks has shown up. Both him and his entire crew. And one of his men basically points on Kizaru. Despite the fact how Kizaru tries to stop Luffy's the submarine that Luffy's on, it's Lost Submarine, the Heart Pirates. So Hancock really wants to go after Luffy, commandeers a Navy ship. It is, as a warlord of the sea, I order you to chase after her. It's like, okay, fine. Yep. And she goes off, and don't worry, she'll eventually catch up with Luffy. Don't worry about that. And then Shanks basically easily gets the fighting to stop. And basically he basically commends Kobe on his courage to get the fighting to stop, and he does. And then he walks over to, well, first he stops the market and says it's time to grieve, and then he tells Suiku, let the Whitebeard pirates bury Whitebeard and Ace. He says, like, I won't let you basically display them like trophies. And some of the Marines who are not Sengoku, who's like, yeah, we have ready to do that. And Sengoku's like, stand down. I'll allow it just this once. He's like, okay. And of course, the Shanks pirates, they, of course, before Luffy gets basically, before they go down, Shanks picks up Luffy's hat, gives it the bug. He says, oh yeah, we'll give you a treasure map. I was like, okay. And he runs off and gives the hat to Trevor Law, and then they go off and then prepare for surgery. And by the time last see him in the arc, they're still in surgery. Despite the fact they're constantly attacked first by Aokiji, and then it's Kizaru. But the fighting stopped, and of course they declared victory. The Blackbeard pirates, of course, and it's not surprising Shanks know who Blackbeard is, so they get away. It's like, okay, let's unpack it, let's go. You gave me to do, and of course, when Blackbeard killed Whitebeard, he took his Devil Fruit power before I could regrow it to an actual fruit. And what is it with it? He pretty much wrecks the main citadel. Yeah, he cuts it in freaking half. Yeah, he wrecks it. Something Whitebeard apparently didn't touch, but apparently Blackbeard did. Yeah, and he almost nearly cracked. He says, oh yeah, he wants to give a whole Marineford a burial, so he wanted to destroy the whole freaking island. But look enough, he stopped anyways. So, Whitebeard, they can confirm here that he's actually 72 years old. He suffered through 276 shots. He was stabbed a whole boatload of times, 46 cannons, and punched by Alkanu twice. And all on his front, nothing on his back. Back is clean as a whistle. And it kind of ends off on a cliffhanger, but that actually is the end of the arc itself, with everybody just basically trying to deal with basically what's happened. But yeah, that's the end of Marineford. An absolute fantastic arc of the series. Despite the fact it does cause death of 2 characters in this particular series. Yeah, and as far as I can tell, those 2, as far as I can tell, were only 2 canon deaths the whole series, because post-time skip, I don't think there's actually, well, any named character deaths. Yes, characters who are named, like pre-time skip, Ace and Whitebeard, the only 2 ever killed. Post-time skip, I know there's actual deaths. Oh yes, there's several people who die. But just before this, yeah, just those 2. But not much else to say about the Marineford arc. It is really good. And in case you're wondering what chapters it covers, 550 to 580 of the manga. That's what it covers. Yep, though the next arc I'm going to cover for the series is going to be post-war, which is 17 chapters. But I'm not going to cover that arc just yet because I got a few other videos I'm going to do, okay? So that's it for single review. My next video will be a review of the newest chapter of My Hero Academia. And I'm also going to review the newest episode of One Piece. There's no new chapter manga released today. Next week, possibly. And the newest episode of Boruto. Okay, to the next video. Bye.